So, first things first, 5 reasons why you're not getting signed for models and actors by agencies is number 1, you need to update your portfolio with professional images more. So what does that mean? Well, honestly, I brought up the iPhone thing because it's important, because the iPhone is taking a really great amount of photos, good quality, high quality photos that, you know, DSLR big cameras can get, but also the iPhones can also acquire, which is amazing right now because, you know, it is cost effective, it is easier, and it's more do-it-yourself DIY style, which is awesome. So I just want to say that your portfolio, what is a portfolio, just to catch you guys up if you aren't aware? Portfolio is your modeling book. It's like your resume for your job. Like an actor's resume is your actual paper resume, but it's also really your reel, your REEL, not Instagram 1-minute reels, not TikTok reels. It's your actual put together footage of you working in actual projects in one compiled piece of footage. So the reel could be, you know, really no longer than 2 minutes. And your portfolio is a series of images that make yourself look good and present your best self in your different looks. So my portfolio is on my website at sophiagutchinov.com/print, because I'll do a lot of print work. I also do runway and promo modeling, but I have it as the URL is print. And for my reel, for my acting, because I do acting and modeling, my acting reel website is sophiagutchinov.com/reel, REEL. So there's different, I have a variation there, so it's pretty clear. And, you know, as you guys get better and learn more about the career and have more footage, you will also have all the same things that I have. And, you know, more down the line, I'm always building my career as you are. And even if you're in the very beginning stages, you got to start somewhere, right? Like, okay, so I'm very honest in all my webinars. I tell you what's going on in my life. And currently, I'm very excited. I am a resident artist at La Mama Experimental Theater Club on East 4th Street. And that is this amazing theater that was started like in the 60s, I believe. Yeah, it's started by this woman named Ellen Stewart. It's an amazing place. It's done so much for the acting industry, the arts, the dance, revolutionizing things, human rights, etc. And it's been a dream of mine to perform there, and I finally am creating a show there. I'm so excited. I don't even know yet what I'm going to do exactly, but I'm going to create a one-woman show, so stay tuned. But, you know, I'm a human, and I also have feelings and emotions, and we're going through a hard time with this pandemic. It's really hard. It's still happening. It's 2 years later, and I'm like, yo, like, how are we still living like this? This needs to be over, like, soon. I can't live my whole life like this, right? But I was researching La Mama and people who started at La Mama who were theater artists and choreographers and music composers and dancers and puppeteers and singers and everyone you can imagine. And there are so many amazing people who started at La Mama. Like, there are so many people who I didn't even know, and so many shows that started at La Mama where I'm like, whoa, like, what hasn't started here? Who hasn't started here? Like, amazing people to fill, like, big roles. Like, the man who created Dreamgirls, the puppeteer from Broadway's Lion King, famous actors like Bradley Cooper, Robert De Niro have performed at La Mama. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And I am now getting this opportunity. And that is a huge deal for me as a, you know, young artist. And I couldn't help but think, like, why was I chosen? Like, do I belong here? Like, what am I doing? Is this right for me? What if I create something and it sucks? Like, do I know what I'm doing? And then I'm like, you know what? I was chosen to be here. I was asked to be here. This is a dream come true, and it's finally happening. I'm on the path to greatness, and I'm making my dreams come true, right? And, you know, all artists, we all experience, I mean, all people really, especially in career paths, we all experience this, like, imposter syndrome, which is not like a psychological disorder. I mean, yeah, it is. But I'm saying, like, in the very varying degrees of it, like, I'm experiencing this time where I'm like, wow, like, this is finally happening. Like, am I good enough? What am I going to do? You know? And I know that it's going to be great, and I'm going to create something that's a masterpiece, and I'm so excited. But a part of me is doubting myself, and that is normal in the industry. So I just want to stress that it's super important for you to take care of yourself in this industry and, you know, reassure yourself. So I just did my vision board last night for the new year, 2022. I do it after the month has, like, gone by in January to see, like, where the year's headed, what I've done this year, like, where is my vibe. And I have a picture of the theater on it, and then I have visual words that say, you belong here, to remind myself that, you know, I do belong here. I am exactly where I need to be in my life, and I'm doing the right things. And, you know, in this industry, there's really no timeline. Like, I never knew what year I'd be performing at La Mama, but here it is, and it's happening. And I never know what year I'm gonna, like, you know, what year you're gonna join the union, what year you're gonna win an Oscar, what year you're gonna finally have your first runway modeling shoot, show, your first modeling shoot, like this one photographer you might want to work with. You don't know what year that's gonna happen. But honestly, this industry is hard because you can't really look at it as a clear trajectory. Like, it's not linear. Like how healing isn't linear. Like physical healing is linear. Like if you break your leg, you know about time, like when you're going to be off crutches, when you can start physical therapy, when you can start walking, when you can start running, when you can start doing everything you used to do. But like emotional healing is hard. Like if you got hurt, you're not going to know necessarily when you're going to feel better, or sometimes you might feel better and the next day you don't. And the same way the acting industry is, like, it's like life, you know, sometimes it'll be going really great. And then other times you're going to be like, wow, I haven't booked anything in so long. What's going on? Maybe that's because of the acting industry with the virus. Maybe that's because your materials are not up to date, which we're going to talk about. You know, so you don't really know. You just have to be in it kind of for the long haul. I mean, you do have to be in it for the long haul if you really want to seriously pursue this. And if you want to try it out as a hobby and see where it goes, and you have some like early successes, that's also awesome, and that's cool, and that's amazing. And if you want to keep doing it, do it. But if it's not making you happy, don't continue doing it. Like, there are times when, you know, me as a working actor, like, it's hard. Like, I'm constantly auditioning. I have to record literally 2 other things right after this webinar before getting this bus, and it's going to be rushed because things are happening and it's happening fast. But, you know, that's the way it is. This is the industry I signed up for. I know what I got into. I remind myself that I have the freedom of a freelancer to wake up in my own time, to do what I want. I don't have to report to any boss. Like, I'm my own boss. You know, I mean, I do have bosses when I get on gigs, like directors and stuff, but like altogether, I don't have some CEO that I'm working for. I am my own CEO of my own business. And it's really interesting and important to remind yourself that, like, you chose this career path. You have choices. If you want to choose to do something that's very unstable, like this career, then, you know, that's your choice, and you have to live with it, and you have to make it work, and you have to make it amazing and make it as good as it can be, right? Another quote I put on my vision board is, I forgot that actor's name, but he's on the cover of some magazine. I know that tells you nothing. Andrew something. He is in a new film that's getting pretty good buzz for the awards. I'm sure you guys know who I'm talking about. He's white, probably in his 20s or 30s. But he has a quote that says, I managed to find security in a business that has no security. And I was like, wow, we love to hear that, because that's important. That's motivating. That's inspiring. And like, honestly, somehow I have found the same. I mean, you know, I'm still doing my thing and everything. And it's just like, I somehow make it work. You know, I put my faith in like abundance, and I'm like, yo, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And I'm here, and I'm open. I'm applying to possibilities. I'm submitting every day, you know, and it's going to happen. So yes, that is my intro monologue to our webinar. But yeah, let's get into actual webinar. So update your portfolio professional images. I don't know how that'll happen, but it's important for you to know what's going on, like besides just like the nitty gritty, like scholastic education stuff, to know what it's like in the real world, like on the fly, you know, hands-on learning. This is like hands-on learning. Like, this is what's going on in my life, you know? So your portfolio is your modeling resume. And sometimes your acting resume too. Like, I have images for me doing stage combat and in certain shows that are plays and theater on my website on sophiagutchinov.com/gallery. And the gallery is a combination of my modeling work and my acting work, but the print work is solely just modeling work. So I have it pretty differentiated, which is clear. So my portfolio is up to date. You know, I look how I look. If you met me right now and you saw my portfolio yesterday or last week or 2 weeks ago, it should still look how I look right now. Like, for example, if someone calls you in or they see you on Instagram or whatever, and they see your images and they're like, oh, cool, so she looks like this. All right, so I want to meet her for coffee and talk about my project. Or I want her to come in for an audition. Or I want to book her right off the bat and have her on set, which is the best bookings ever, when you don't have to audition and you're just called and you're like, yeah, you booked it. And I'm like, thank God I don't have to audition, you know, because it's exhausting to keep auditioning. I mean, it's fine, but it's like, I do have footage, I do have images. You should be able to visualize me in the role without needing to constantly audition. But you know, it's formality. A lot of people like to audition, make sure you are who you are. Your like footage is not completely edited where it doesn't look like you. And you know, the booking I'm gonna do right now, I actually did audition. Amazing. I applied and I have my website and they saw it all, and it's like they trusted me that I'm a professional, I am who I say I am, and I have integrity with my images and my footage. So it's great. Yeah, those are the best roles. Like, I love when I book something and I don't have to audition. I'm like, yes, they believed in me without me needing to validate myself, you know? But at the same time, auditioning is part of the career and you have to learn to love it and get used to it. So, you know, that's another thing. But, okay, so if you dyed your hair blonde and you're a brunette, then your portfolio should show you being now a blonde. Okay, it can have, you know, an image where it shows you a different hair color and you write, not current, maybe. I never really seen that. I'm just stretching it right now. But maybe you want to do that to make it seem like it will work in case you want to dye your hair for a role or in case you wear wigs, whatever it is. If you cut your hair like here and your hair is this long, or you have long hair like me, or you do a buzz cut, then your images on your portfolio are going to not be accurate. Wow, my hair is frizzy today. You know, it's like 2 degrees outside right now in Europe. What is that? Anyway, so you want to make sure it's accurate. So I have a new roommate and she just got on the dating apps in New York. She just moved here, right? New New Yorker. And she was showing me her profile and I was like, that doesn't look like you. And she was like, you think I look that different? And I was like, your hair is so much shorter. You look completely different. You look way more innocent with your long hair. You look younger with your long hair. You look more edgy with your short hair. She was like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah, it doesn't look like you. You should totally delete those. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah. So she did. Because she's not trying to catfish these people in New York. And if they go on a date, they're going to expect this like girl with long hair and she's got short hair. They're going to be like, you look different. And that's the worst thing. It doesn't show that you're professional in the acting world and modeling world. It doesn't show you that you're presenting yourself on who you are in the dating world, whatever it is. But you want to make sure that you're showing the person who you actually are. You're showing the casting people who you actually are. You're showing them how you look at every hour of the day on every day of the week. You know, I look like this all the time, right? My hair isn't blonde. My hair isn't short. I didn't grow a foot. I didn't lose or gain 20 pounds. So we're showing ourselves to be accurate. That's important. So make sure you look accurate. If you do gain weight or lose weight, you do have to show that in your portfolio. Whether you look at it as a positive or negative, this industry is very image centric. It is very, you are the product, you are selling yourself. This is you, you're selling your face, your voice, your essence, your personality, your eye color, your height, your hair color, your skin color, where you grew up, all that kind of stuff. It makes you who you are, right? So if you did a drastic transformation with your body and you got some kind of plastic surgery or you got a mole removed, I don't know, I'm just making things up, right? And someone books you because they like that one part of you, that you have a beauty mark, and then you don't have a beauty mark, and it's like, you alter your whole appearance. So you need to make sure that you're showing your new altered appearance to be accurate in your life, on your website, on your portfolio, on your social media, etc. I'm not saying you have to delete posts. Like on social media, it's different because it's more personal. But in your modeling portfolio, that is all professional. And that should not really be showing you like when you were like in high school, if you're out of college and you look completely different, right? So that's just an example. Okay, number 2. You use Snapchat or Instagram filters on images. All right. So like we all love, I mean, I don't really actually use them, but you know, some people do. A lot of people do. We all love a little dog face. It's cute. You know, you like have a little nose and like ears and like, that's really cute. You look good, right? A lot of the images, in my opinion, I'm a very, natural, like, be yourself. You know, if you have a pimple, don't edit it out. You know, if you have a wrinkle, leave it. If you have cellulite, that's part of you. But that's who I am. So leave it in the pictures at least. Don't like edit it. So what I'm saying is that like a lot of the filters nowadays, or actually forever, they really alter people's appearances. And this has been studied like with teenagers and how it's changing like depression. It's not good because people are getting used to the idea of seeing somebody who looks fake and they don't like the way they themselves look because they're natural, because they like the way they look fake better than they look natural. And that is problematic because, you know, it'll add freckles, which are now in. I have freckles, they're natural. It'll make your eyes bigger. Let's say if you're part Asian, I'm half Asian, and it'll make my eyes look bigger and not look as ethnic as I do look, depending on who you ask. It will change your eye color to make them lighter in case they're like brown, which brown eyes are beautiful just as much as blue eyes or green eyes or, you know, hazel eyes, whatever. And it'll make them look brighter. It'll make your lips look bigger. It'll make your waist look smaller. Like, there's crazy things that happen that is really not that realistic. Even if you do go to the gym and eat right and like take care of yourself, the Photoshop that's happening in the world is really not realistic or even healthy. So I would encourage everybody in this industry to try to use filters as the least amount as possible, because it'll help you with your mental health. It'll help you be the person you say you want to be. It'll help you show up the way you should, and it'll help you let people know how you actually look, so when they meet you in person, you're not catfishing them, right? So definitely don't have any kind of Snapchat or Instagram filters on your portfolio. It's very unprofessional. And if I saw that as someone's portfolio, I personally would never work with them or book them. And I'm not even kidding. Like, that is just showing me that they're totally an amateur. They probably don't look like that in person. I don't actually even know what they look like. And they're not even letting me see how they actually look, which is deceiving and wrong. So that might sound extreme, but my opinion is shared by a lot of people in the industry. So if you want to actually be booked in this industry and make a name for yourself and be professional, then you should probably take my advice. That's my opinion. Well, that's why we're at this webinar, right? So don't use filters on your images, on your portfolio. If you want to edit things, okay, that's fine. But like, don't edit out your freckles if they're natural. Like, I have a lot of photographers I work with who I will never work with again, who will take photos of me, and they're great photos, and then they will literally take out all of my freckles, and I'm like, this is part of my skin. Why are you taking away a part of my identity that's now very popular? Like, I mean, obviously I always love my freckles no matter if they're popular or not, and people are drawing them on, but I've had photographers blur out my face. I have photographers change my body in images, which was really bad and also offensive. So first of all, don't work with those people. It's hard if you don't know until you try. Try to look at the portfolio and see what you see. And on top of that, ask for the raw unedited images before, you know, when you like, make sure you get your images how they actually are. Sometimes you do have to do this thing where you have to post and you have to ask like, oh, is it okay to post this one, the unedited one? Sometimes they'll be like, no. And honestly, you have to be okay with saying like not posting it. But your portfolio is different. You don't always, I mean, you should give credit to the photographer, but sometimes the photographers don't really want credit, depending on if they like the photo or not. So that's kind of up for grabs. It depends on scenario by scenario, case by case. So just talk to the photographer, him or herself. And when you sign a contract, the model release, normally you want to make sure, like, am I getting the images? How am I getting them? We transfer, Google Drive, a file, an email. How big are the files going to be? Are they going to be compressed? Like, these are all questions you have to ask. Are you going to get the unedited photos? Am I only going to get the edited photos? You know, you want to ask all these things. Is there going to be a watermark? Is there not going to be a watermark? Watermark means that the image is here and then the photographer's like name is right here, which can be distracting. A lot of photographers only do watermarks, so you just have to accept it. But some websites, when you put up your images, it is copyright infringement. So you want to try to get the unwatermarked photo the best you can, because sometimes the images will not be uploaded correctly because it's an infringement of copyright with the website themselves. So these are all crazy things you got to think about. There are a lot of technical stuff, and it has literally nothing to do with your talent. It has to do with the business of acting, which is what I teach here at Latitude. And it's very important to know about the business of acting, because that's honestly more than half of this industry is knowing the business side. If you are a great talent, you have an amazing singing voice, you have an amazing look, you have an amazing acting chops, right? But you don't know how to market yourself, you're literally never going to do anything. I'm sorry, but you're going to literally do nothing, because if I have an invention called sliced bread, how exciting, and I don't know how to tell people about it, am I ever going to monetize or make money or make it successful? I mean, not really. Maybe when my friends come over for dinner or like a drink or tea, I'll be like, hey, do you want some sliced bread? And they'll be like, oh my God, that's so cool. Yes. And I'm like, thanks. But I'll never be able to bring it out of the house and sell it or start an empire, because I don't know what I'm doing to be a businesswoman and be like, yo, this is sliced bread. You should try it. You know what I'm saying? So very important marketing, business, sliced bread. Okay. I love sliced bread. Who doesn't love sliced bread? Bread is important. Some people don't like bread. Okay, if you're gluten-free, you can have gluten-free bread. Okay, whatever. So, number 3, you don't have a professional social media page. Let's think about this. Okay, so there are a lot of people nowadays who really share a lot on social media. Like, they are explicit with their language. They are explicit with their political beliefs. They're explicit with their romantic life, etc., etc. Honestly, that's cute. I'm happy for them. But the question becomes, does their industry care about their social media? A lot of times now, yes. Before, not as much. Now more. Honestly, maybe if you're a stockbroker and you have a 9-to-5 and you go to work and you come home and you go to the gym and you watch Netflix and you see your friends on the weekends, you have a very simple, cute, nice life. We don't have simple lives. Sorry to break it to you. As an actor, as a model, as someone in this industry, as a freelancer, you do not have a simple life. You do not have the luxury to have security in your hours of working, the amount of money you're going to make every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year. And the work-life balance thing is really hard because your schedule is absentee. It's constantly changing. You're being told to do this and do that within a moment's notice. And if you don't do it, someone else will. Highly competitive. So you, as I said, are the product. You are marketing yourself. Nowadays, casting directors and breakdowns, casting calls, they will literally ask you what your social media profiles are. What's your Instagram? What's your TikTok? Facebook isn't as popular, but sometimes they will ask you that. What's your Twitter? Is it private? Is it public? How many followers do you have? What's your engagement rate? These are very crazy things in my mind still, because it's not a measure of your talent. It's a measure of how good you are with using an app and using an algorithm and promoting yourself on that app. But it has now become very important and part of the marketing industry, of the acting industry, and every industry, because as you said, not as you said, but as we learn, if you are not buying anything, you are the product, right? Social Dilemma from Netflix taught us that. So if you didn't see it, you need to watch it, but that's another story. So you are the product. People are selling things to you. Companies are selling things to you, and you need to learn how to manipulate the system and make it work for you using hashtags, joining engagement groups, growth and development, liking other people's things, commenting, reels, stories, videos. It's honestly so much, and it can be very exhausting. So you just got to make time for it. How healthy boundaries. I just learned about recently this thing called downtime on your iPhone. If you don't have an iPhone, this probably won't apply to you. Maybe the Android has it. I don't know. It's a thing where you can set a limit to how many minutes you're on the apps, the social media apps, whatever apps. And it also has a thing where it will turn off you letting you use the apps if it's a certain hour of night or day or time, whatever. Also, focus mode has been literally a game changer for me. Do not disturb never worked before. I don't know why Apple even made that up. But now they have the focus mode, which I actually have on all day. Yes, because right now as I'm recording this, I don't need people text me at the top. It's very distracting. It takes me out of the moment. I don't have time for it. I can read it when I read it afterward. I can check my own things on my own, just like my emails. I have it so I slide down, I check it. I don't have it so it's constantly floating me. I have notification turns off for Instagram. You might be thinking, oh, doesn't this contradict what you're saying about how someone will get the job and you won't? No, because I stay on top of it. And I take time for myself where I'm meditating or doing things or going for a walk or going to the gym, and I put my phone down. And that's important. And yes, you have to know that, okay, you can't be glued to your phone. You have to have a healthy relationship where, okay, this hour is mine. My phone is going down. If someone calls me, I'll call them back after. And if someone calls me, they need me right then and there, and I miss it, then that's okay because this hour is more important to me. So you got to create your own, balance in terms of the industry and all that. It's definitely hard. It's something I'm struggling with always, but it's part of who we are. We have to do our own thing. We're our own boss. We have to create our own work days, our own rest days, all of that kind of stuff, because we're not that stockbroker who has that regular 9-to-5, who has that structured life of these are the hours I work, this is the hours I don't work, and this is what I do. I leave my work at home. That's not us. If you want that life, then you should not be in this industry. And obviously you probably know that already. So yeah. Okay, so a professional social media page is important because if you want to talk about your personal life and how you're going through something crazy, you can. But you have to remember that if you are going to do that, casting directors are going to check your profile, they're going to see that, and they might bring it up to you. Or political, which has been very important in the past 4 years. If you want to talk about politics, it could make you not get a job. And I know you might think you're right, and I know you might think that, you know, your opinions are right, but honestly, this is a country where you can have opinions, and some people do not want to work with people who have different opinions, so it's better to just stay ambiguous and talk about your opinions in person to your friends, not post about them, even though you really want to, and you don't want to stay silent on certain issues. And if you deem yourself an activist and certain issues you think need to be talked about, then you should talk about them, because that's who you are. That's your persona. Like for me, I'm an activist, so I talk about certain things that I feel like I need to say. Yeah, so I need to be heard, I need to be seen. I have to say this. It's not because I want to be the best, it's because I need to get this off my chest in a way for the activist stuff. Very interestingly enough, we want to make sure that we are being the best person we could be on our social media. We're showing ourselves on set, behind the scenes, booking, all the little things, submitting every day, sending those emails, going to auditions, going to the gym, eating right, meditating, whatever it is. And like, it's hard because you can't really show all of that on social media. It's really hard because a lot of social media is just your successes, but it should also be your struggles, you know? You don't want to be constantly complaining, but you want to show what it's really like to be an artist in this industry on a day-to-day basis, right? So, all right, professional social media page. Number 4. Old photos. So you don't really want to keep photos on your portfolio or your social media, or no, your portfolio, your social media is different, for more than 6 months at a time, because you do look different unless you actually look the same. Most people do change their look. Like, you know, your skin might get, you know, more tan in the summer, or you might dye your hair lighter or darker in the season, the winter, all of that. So you want to make sure that it's current for what you're doing. And that includes your weight, your hair, your style, your skin, any kind of like, you know, new makeup looks you're trying out. That's very important. And the last one, number 5, is you're not checking your emails or your DMs and responding promptly or professionally. So for example, you want to make sure that you're responding to your emails in a timely manner, really day of or within 24 hours, no more than that. If you're not going to respond more than that, you should let the person know, hey, I'm out of town, I'll respond to you when I get back, when I can fully think about it. DMs, believe it or not, so you think they're like not as professional in terms of Instagram, but I have booked things through DMs. Like Maybelline, I don't know why Maybelline couldn't find my email when I auditioned for them, but they DM'd me on Instagram and they were like, hey, we'd like to book you for that commercial. And I was like, interesting. So I DM'd them back and I was like, hey, yeah, I'm interested. I have a friend who booked a Timberland commercial from Instagram. Yeah. He posted a photo that was like kind of like on brand with them, didn't tag them or anything. They happened to see it, and maybe he'd used a hashtag or something, and they booked him through a huge campaign. Amazing. I do a lot of influencer stuff on Instagram that I book through my DMs, through hashtags, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you're just keeping updated. You know, you want to make sure your hashtags are professional, as long as your captions and your location are in the video. If you want to have a close friends on Instagram, you should. I do. It's very useful because you don't want to publish like your whole personal life on there. But if you want like your friends to see, like have like inside jokes, you can do that. But just make sure your inside friends, your close friends, are actually your friends, and I'm not gonna like screenshot things and post them and like backstab you, because you gotta be careful who you trust in this industry. You know, digital's forever, and you want to make sure you're having good connections with people and never burning any bridges. That's very important, and that's like a lesson for life too, but also especially in an industry as small as this one. Okay, so when you do respond in your emails or your DMs, make sure it's professional. Like, you want to be able to spell things right. If you can't spell your, there, here, it's you know, those kind of things, then you need to either get an app. I think there's an app called Grammarly. I've never used it, but people really like that app. Or you need to really proofread, or hire somebody who can proofread your things. Or you should take a basic grammar class, because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this might sound crazy, but it's true. When I see emails from a director or a casting person and they literally can't spell right, I don't want to work with them. Yeah, it's as simple as that. It's those little things, because those little things are really important, because I've read some scripts as an actor where there's just constant grammatical errors, and it's actually hard to focus on the script because it makes me wonder how many people had to read the script for it to get to the actor, and all those people did not catch these errors. And I'm like, do I want to work with this person? Do they proofread anything? Like, you know what I mean? So you want to be careful of that. Make sure you're proofreading. And you're professional, you know, like, hi, not like, what's up? You want to say like, hi, hope you're well. I was just following up. Or you want to be polite. Like, don't just be like, yo, where's my footage? You want to be like, hi, I hope you're doing well and having a great 2022. I was wondering when I can expect my footage. That kind of stuff. So yes, this is the end of our webinar. Hope you enjoyed it. These are 5 reasons why you're not getting signed for models and actors by agents and managers and reps. Number 1, update your portfolio professional images. 2, you are using Snapchat or Instagram filters on your images. You don't have a professional social media page, old photos, and you're not checking your email or DMs and responding promptly or professionally. Those are our 5 tips. You want to make sure you're not doing any of these things, and I told you why and how not to do these things. If you guys have any questions, you can contact Latitude or me. I'm on Instagram. My handle is at Sophia Gutchinov. I'll be tagged in this. It's just my name spelled out, which is kind of long, but it's Sophia Gutchinov, Gutchinov. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and happy booking, and happy February. Thank you.